Join me as I turn this into this, my DIY broken globe candle holder and vase.
Hello, thanks for joining. What a beautiful day it is. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today's craft, we are gonna make what I like to call these broken globe candle holders and vase. They also kind of look like a dinosaur egg, like a maybe broken open dinosaur egg, which is kind of cool, but I'm calling them a broken globe. And what they're great for is, right now it's Halloween time. So this would be a great table decor for Halloween. You could even do some even more Halloween kind of flowers. Or maybe like right at your doorstep would be a really cool place for them. You can really customize them to any color you want. I did black and gold, which is also good for Halloween. But our house is almost like so much black and gold in it, so these would fit perfectly in our house right now. And then I did a charcoal texture on the vase, but you can use whatever painting technique you really want. We're gonna teach you these today, but feel free to go with it. Do whatever you want. Get more, intricate in your painting details, whatever you want to do. So we made 2 candle holders, so 2 smaller ones, and then 1 large one. This one also you can put a candle in. Use battery operated candles. I don't want them to catch on fire for you, but you can also not do a vase, and you can also do a battery operated candle in this one as well. So we're going to teach you all this. To do this, you will need wax paper. Just something to cover your workspace. It's a pretty messy craft, and I like to use something that's a little bit water resistant. So I use wax paper. I did a poster board and then I did wax paper over it. But you could also do maybe like foil or whatever you choose. Or if you have a workspace that you don't mind getting dirty, it can be just kind of wiped up clean as well. You need a bowl for water. Just lukewarm water is fine, warm temperature. You'll need balloons. The size balloons I used for these, I used a 9-inch balloon for this and a 12-inch balloon for this. Both I didn't blow up to its full potential. I kind of blew it up to whatever size I wanted it to blow up to. You'll need some scissors. And you'll need some plaster gauze strips. That's what these are. They're kind of used for casts, So you need some of those. And then to paint, I need a paintbrush. Things to put your paint on, plates. I use lids sometimes. That's what's there. To get this technique, I used a piece of paper, so scratch a piece of paper. And then I used black craft paint, white craft paint, and gold craft paint. If you don't want to shop for all of this and you don't want to battle the craft stores, go and head on over to socialcrafts.com. That's socialcrafts.com. And all of this is ready for you in a box. Even better, all of this is ready in a party box. So you can buy 5, 10, 15. The more you buy, the more you save per person. And you can do this as a craft party at your house. We take all the work out of doing that. So just so you know, it's there for you, socialcrafts.com. You can head on over and all this will be sent to you so you don't have to go and find it. Also, what comes in the box is a silver paint. I didn't use silver, but I know some people prefer silver over gold. So I also provided a silver paint in there. So that is what's all happening. Let's get started with building this craft.
So we're going to start by covering our workspace. Like I said, I used a poster board and then some wax paper over it. So I used 2 overlapping pieces of wax paper. Then we're going to blow up our balloons. So I started with the 9-inch balloon. I didn't fill it all the way and just tied it. Then we're going to cut strips of our plaster gauze. Cut about 2 to 3 inch size strips. It doesn't have to be exact, and cut a bunch. I only cut a few here and I kept having to wash my hands and recut. So cut the whole roll, just cut it. You're going to use it. If you're going to do all 3, you're definitely going to end up using it. So just cut it all. And then next, to activate the gauze, we get our bowl of water. It could be just lukewarm water. And we dip it in the water, let the extra water drip off, and then place it on the balloon. You're going to use your fingers like I'm doing here to smooth out the plaster gauze, and you'll see the plaster starts to fill in the little holes in the gauze. So that's what you're trying to do. You're just trying to smooth it out and fill in the holes. And so you're going to keep doing that. Dip pretty quick, let it drip, place it on your balloon, smooth it out, and you're gonna do that throughout your whole balloon. You're gonna also decide where you want the opening to be when you're doing this, so kind of leave that part unplastered wherever you want your opening to be. The broken part comes from really no exact science or way to do it. You just kind of leave the edges, using the edges of the gauze, how you place it. You kind of place it jagged, and that's how it will dry. You want to do about 2 full layers. Everywhere you're doing the gauze, do about 2 layers thick, just to make sure it's sturdy. What I don't show here is how to make it sit the way you want it to. Once you're pretty done with your layers, you're gonna see that it's hardening already. So when you're all done, you wanna put it down on the table like you want it to be when you want it to dry, and then press it down on the table just a little bit so it makes a flatter edge, so it will sit that way, and then let it dry. You can see here I had to cut more, and we're going to use our bigger balloon. We finished our other 2 small balloons. Now I'm going to do the 12-inch balloon. Again, I didn't fill it up all the way. This one I don't really want it to open up sideways. I wanted to open it up on the top, so I'm just following the natural lay of the balloon. I'm doing the bottom first, then I place it on the bottom, and I'm starting to do the sides and just have it open, keep it open near the top of the balloon, and let it dry about 20 to 30 minutes. You'll then cut the balloon. When you feel it's hardened, you'll cut the balloon and let all the air out, and you'll see the plaster stays as is. You can also see in this picture that the inside's a little gray still. That means it's actually still a little bit wet, and you're gonna wanna let it dry a little more. You'll know it's dry when it's a complete same white color all the way around. So you're gonna do this for all of them. And then we can clean up that mess. Get that mess out of here so we can have time to paint. All right, so I used a black and white craft paint, and I'm mixing the black and white to make a gray charcoal color. Just mix them until you get the correct color you want. And you can definitely use a lot more paint than I did here. I had to refill a couple of times. And you do you know, if you wanted a light gray like this, by all means. Oh, we're working on the bigger vase texture paint right now. But I wanted it a little bit more charcoal, so I went a little bit darker. And what you want to do next is grab that piece of paper and start to make it into a ball. I like to open it up, soften up the paper a little more, and then crunch it up again. Open it, crunch it up, open it, crunch it up until you're ready. Put it in your fist, kind of flatten it out, and go ahead and put it into the paint and then onto your globe, and supporting it on the inside from the back. These globes can be fragile, so just support it wherever you are pressing your paint, especially around the edges of your globe, because those can be even more fragile. So don't press too hard when you're doing this painting technique, especially when you get to the edges. And you're going to continue this throughout the whole globe. And what I like to do is I press a little harder in certain places. I made the paint a little thicker in certain places by going over that area a little more. I made it so it wasn't completely uniform throughout the whole thing and gave it a little bit more of a dimension. And I just did this throughout the whole globe. Gorgeous. And just let it dry. Dries pretty quick. Next, we're going to work on the 2 golden black globes. And this, I mostly used all black, but I did add a tiny bit of white just so it wasn't so stark black. It did make a difference to me. It might not make a difference to you, but I just added a tiny bit of white in that black paint. And then I painted the outside. So I started with the outsides of these globes, and I used the black paint all around. I did the whole entire globe, and you'll see when I get to the end, I put it down and then I finish painting in where I was holding it. Sometimes you have to press your brush into the little holes to make sure it gets a solid black. What you'll see, you might see a little bit of the black coming through to the inside. You know, there were holes in our gauze and we might not have covered up all of the holes within the gauze. So a little bit of paint might be coming through on the inside. That's why what I like to do is do the whole outside and then let it dry completely before doing the inside, just so we don't smear any of the paint that happened to leak into the inside. So I do all the outsides and then let it dry completely. And then I work on the inside. So using the gold or silver, or really any color you want, I went and started to paint the insides after, like I said, that the outside was completely dry. Then you can also handle the outside like I am here, and you don't have to worry about getting paint on your fingers. I did 2 layers of the gold just to make sure it really popped and it really had a distinct gold color and no white showing through. I did go back at the end and also touch up the very edges. You can see how they're a little bit white where the gold and black meet. And I went back with black to make sure all the edges were a little bit touched up and clean. And that's it. You let it dry. And you can put some cool candles in there, the battery operated tea lights, some flowers. I like to put the flowers in a jar first and then in the vase. That's my little trick. But that's about it.
I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you were able to do this craft successfully. If not, always feel free to contact us at hello@socialcrafts.com, hello@socialcrafts.com. You can also go to our Instagram and Pinterest to get way more inspiration and crafts that you can do, you know, for the holidays, crafts you can do with your friends, gathering ideas. So you can find us on Instagram and Pinterest at Social Crafts, that's at Social Crafts. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, and if you want to subscribe to more, don't forget to subscribe here. Oh yeah. And also like this video below. It helps us out tremendously. Thanks again. I will see you next time.